What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unlocked. Wanted to keep talking about the Bringing Out the Best in People series and the book that has really revolutionized the way I look at, leadership and team building. Definitely my favorite book. Recommend reading it twice a year. So we're going to keep going on the 12 or 13 ways to bring the best out of people. So we're going to keep on the series, Bringing Out the Best in People. Man, what a great book. Pastor Writing About Business. That's a great book. So we talked about the first 3 rules, and now we're going on rule number 4. So it talks about creating an environment in which failure is not fatal. And so you want to have an environment where there are consequences, and we talked about excellence and committing to high standards. So you want to talk about an environment where there are high standards, and there has to be consequences for things when they don't go well. But you want to make it okay to make mistakes, because in any training ground, there are going to be mistakes. So you have to figure out a way to allow for mistakes without them becoming a standard of failure. What do I mean by that? I might have a situation where, for example, lately we're talking a lot about quality sales and customers not falling off and churn. So for example, somebody might have a bad day, or they might have 2 or 3 cancels in their week. I might give them like a public, and you don't want to humiliate people in public, but I might give them a public and friendly boo, like, hey, so-and-so had 2 cancels, boo it up for them. And then I'm like, hey, seriously, you shouldn't have 2 cancels. Please make sure you work on it and let's get better. But it was a nice way to give a slap on the wrist. It was still a high standard because we don't accept cancels, but it is not fatal. It is not an environment in which you're going to be crushed the moment you make a mistake. That is crucial. When people are in an environment, and you know if you have this kind of team, if there's a lot of silence, if people are in an environment where failure is fatal and failure is bad, they would probably find a way. They'll probably stay quiet and not open their mouth a lot. So that's number 4. 5th rule to bring out the best in people. It talks about if they're going anywhere near you, climb their bandwagon. And maybe another word for this is really just leverage, right? Like, you want to find people that are in the position you're going to, and if they're ahead of you, you want to climb their bandwagon. You want to basically ride their coattails. You ever see the Tour of France? I remember watching the Tour of France as a kid in Spain, very popular. And the top 2 riders, they would always be one behind the other. They would never be riding back to back, left and right. There would be one ahead and one behind. And then they would switch because, the Tour of France, it's a long thing. So one would be taking all the wind and the other one would be preserving their energy. And the reason that makes sense is because when you're climbing other people's bandwagons, when you are leveraging other people's success, and I can reach up to where somebody's making $1 million a year, and let's say I'm making $700,000, if I can have, I can get into their meetings, into their rooms, I can get into the stuff they talk about, the data they collect, the metrics that they track at $1 million of earnings or of revenue or of whatever, that's probably gonna help me bridge the gap between me and them. It's a lot easier to find stories of people that are already doing what you're supposed to do, so just get closer to them, create new friends. And the 6th way talks about employ models to encourage success. Some of the best leaders in the world are people that tell the best stories. And you might like it or you might not. It's irrelevant. People love to hear success stories. People love to relate. If I go up into a room and I say how great I am, people are not going to listen. But if I say how great this person is, and how great Sally is, and how great Bob is, and how great Michael was, and the story of overcoming of this guy or that gal, that is what's going to get people going. Is I want to bring out the best in you because I'm sharing a story of somebody that had your background, your specific situation, or worse, and was still able not to just overcome, but be very successful. I need to find stories. I need to point the finger to the people that are doing the right behaviors. So I need to employ models to encourage success. It's not about me wanting you to do the best thing. It's about me wanting you to do the best thing, plus that person did it and that person did it. Copy them, copy him, copy her. Employ models to encourage success. Success stories. And creating a time, if you don't have this, maybe I encourage you to do that. Create a time as early as you can in the day to give people room to recognize each other, to thumbs up each other, to high five each other, to digital high five on Zoom. Find a way to give people room for success stories because that is more encouraging for success than many other things that you could be doing. It's a very high leverage point. So just to recap again, the three ways, the three continuous rules number 4, 5, and 6 is create an environment where failure is not fatal. It's got to be a training ground for mistakes. Climb other people's bandwagons. Find people that are closer to your goal and climb their bandwagon. And number 6, find success stories. Employ models. Find a model of success, encourage it to copy. Find the model that works, make other people copy the model, and remove yourself out of the way. I heard one of my mentors, he wrote a crazy book, and I remember him saying, plug people into the success stories, plug people into the system, and get yourself out of the way. And that's how you build a massive team.